Hey everybody, Jake here and welcome to the hobby. People ask me all the time, what Pokemon cards should you collect? So today I wanted to cover 4 main areas of the hobby that I recommend people collect in and what are the pros and cons of each. So hopefully this video will give you a better understanding of what area of the hobby you want to tackle, collect, invest, and enjoy yourself in. This guide is extremely budget friendly. I have plenty of options available that are fairly affordable. Nothing in this video will be over $1,000. That's my cutoff point for price, but trust me, we're not even gonna come close to $1,000. Most of the items in this video are much more affordable than that. So all right, without further ado, let's get right into it. First up, we have sealed vintage packs. These are usually Wizard of the Coast era. When Wizard of the Coast printed Pokemon cards, these are real vintage. This range from around 1999 to 2002. It's considered Wizard of the Coast era because if you look at the back, it has the Wizards of the Coast logo right there next to the official Nintendo licensed product. Wizards of the Coast are the people that make Magic the Gathering cards, as well as a couple of other lackluster trading card games, Magic the Gathering not being one of those. So certainly these are very vintage, some of the very first Pokemon cards ever printed. This is considered blue chip of Pokemon cards. These are rock solid collectibles, very sturdy, long history. You're not going to see jumps in terms of prices for Wizard of the Coast era vintage cards like this base set booster pack with the Charizard artwork. These are very solid. You're not going to see dips. You're not going to see jumps. Lots of different subsets in terms of vintage packs as well. You can go with the ever popular English base set, iconic, nostalgic, and extremely popular. But there are other price points that are lower if you want to diversify your vintage booster packs. We also have other sets such as Jungle or Fossil. This is a long pack, a little bit of different design. It just means that it did not come from a booster box. This Jungle booster pack was meant to be hanged onto a retail store and you would purchase it by itself. So another different style. If you don't like Fossil or Jungle and you want to go with something a little bit different, you might want to consider Japanese booster packs, which are really solid as well. This is a 1996 base set Japanese booster pack. It's even older than the English base set. Check out that amazing watercolor artwork. These are so iconic. This art was all drawn by Masahiro Arita, one of the most iconic, if not the most prevalent Pokemon card artists of all time. Yeah, that's right. If you don't want to consider English base set or English Jungle, Fossil, and Neo series, you can certainly collect some of the Japanese booster packs. These are rock solid as well. Really sturdy stuff. Some of the best items to collect inside of the hobby. Very collectible, but at the same time not too risky. So if you don't want to worry too much about the risk side, then these are really solid. You're not going to see major jumps in terms of prices, but they do have steady growth. That's what you want to see in vintage booster packs, very steady growth. People ask me all the time about the other languages like French, German, Spanish, Chinese. They do fine vintage. So if you want to collect Spanish or French, they're usually cheaper, so it's certainly an easier list to collect from. If you want to collect some other off languages, they're usually cheaper, but they climb at the same pace as English. You're not going to see a scenario where this Spanish base set booster pack is going to be going down while the English version is going to be going up. So they all go up at around the same pace. They're just different price point for the exact same product. So the first area of the hobby that I recommend people check out is definitely vintage booster packs. These are very cool, fun to display, real blue chip inside of the hobby, rock solid. Nothing really risky here, but again, low risk, so low reward. You're only going to really see steady growth in the vintage booster pack market, but very fun to collect for sure. Jumping from vintage, we have modern booster boxes. This is the second area of the hobby that I highly recommend people collect in. On the risk to reward scale, these are somewhere in the middle. Pretty safe, but overall also more volatile. They're extremely susceptible to the R word, and that is reprint. If you collect booster boxes for modern set and it gets reprinted, well, the value of your booster boxes are going to tank for the near future. So added risk, but it comes with the added reward of higher value gains compared to vintage booster packs. If you can dodge the reprint bullet, you're going to watch your booster boxes climb through the roof. One example of that would be a Team Up booster box. Team Up was never reprinted, and honestly it should have been. It might still be reprinted, so if you were to purchase a Team Up booster box right now, highly risky. The risk is that if it gets reprinted, well, you're about to lose half your money, so lose your shirt pretty much if Team Up is reprinted. So very, very risky on the volatile side, but it comes with the added reward. These are solid collectibles long term. If you're planning on holding something long term, I think a booster box is really solid. They're very compact, especially the Japanese version. Very, very compact for the modern booster boxes. If you're not interested in collecting the English ones, then the Japanese ones do great as well. Here we have a 20th anniversary CP6 booster box. That's what it's called. Really cool set. It was supposed to be a reprint of base set, and you might recognize that because that is our version of XY Evolutions. So CP6 is the Japanese XY Evolution set. Really solid. This has climbed significantly. It's been 5 years since I've held some of these in my hand, and honestly CP6 has done exceptionally well. At retail price, when I purchased one, it was around $60 for a sealed CP6 booster box, and now they're going for well over $1,000, and it's been 5 years. So really solid collectible and fun to display as well. It's fun to have a couple in your collection if you can find them when they're at retail price. Another example is Poke-Cune, another adorable booster box. Came out just a couple of years ago. This was our version of Generations. Generations was the set that came out of Poke-Cune. Very adorable, lots of iconic artwork, really cool design, and honestly, the Pokemon Company has never printed another adorable booster box like this. Really solid, also going for well over $1,000. And you might want to collect something on the ground floor. A great version of CP6 and Poke-Cune, I think, would be the Tag Team All-Stars booster boxes. I think these are really solid, very affordable right now. They're going for right around $70 to $80. Really solid. These contain some really amazing full art cards. They contain pretty much all of the Tag Team GX cards. We got Mew and Mewtwo Tag Team GX, Charizard and Reshiram, Pikachu and Zekrom. They also have gold versions of all of these cards inside of this set, and there's even the God Pack potential. So yeah, I think Tag Team All-Stars pretty underrated and has plenty of potential. So the second area of the hobby that I highly recommend people collect in is booster boxes of all types. They all work out really well for a long term. If you're planning on holding something long term, you can't really go wrong with some booster boxes, that's for sure. All right, next up we are going to talk about something completely different, and that is Elite Trainer boxes. If you asked me 2 years ago, I would say Elite Trainer boxes were a joke. But my perspective on these have changed significantly, which is a great mindset to have as a collector. You have to adapt with a changing collectible environment. So why do I recommend Elite Trainer boxes now? Well, the big pro to them is that they're not in danger of reprints the same way booster boxes are. I know of 2 Elite Trainer boxes that have been reprinted in all of recent memory, and that is the Hidden Fates Elite Trainer box as well as the Champions Path Elite Trainer box. Both of these were reprinted in 2020 as well as the start of 2021. Both really solid as well. Both of these have climbed in value even after the reprint. Reprinting Elite Trainer boxes is just extremely difficult, It is a bit of a logistic nightmare for the Pokemon company. The cards are printed in the United States. The dices and sleeves, which are available inside of every single Elite Trainer box, come separately from China. It's just a lot of work to reprint an Elite Trainer box because all the pieces come from different places. It's a lot of hassle to really do a reprint of Elite Trainer boxes, which is why they are very rarely ever reprinted. Much more rock solid. I feel like they're a time capsule of the set you are trying to collect. They're fun display pieces, fun to collect, and honestly, they have really climbed in value over the last couple of years. Very surprising, but I very much enjoy my Elite Trainer box collection. And in general, they're really rock solid, right there in the middle with booster boxes if you want to collect something that is a little bit more on the safe side but still have some upside potential. Then Elite Trainer boxes are really solid for that. I don't have a single Elite Trainer box in my collection that has been devalued or I've lost money on. All of my Elite Trainer boxes have done great. They're fun to display. They raise in value. There's very little to really complain about them. And I believe these Hidden Fates Elite Trainer boxes will continue to climb. Same with this Vivid Voltage Elite Trainer box with the Fat Pikachu iconic design on it. If you don't have one of these in your collection, I highly recommend you pick one up. Why is that? Well, the big reason is that Vivid Voltage will most likely be reprinted. But if Vivid Voltage is reprinted, it's going to be the booster boxes and not the Elite Trainer box. So what that means is the booster box is going to take a hit and the Elite Trainer box is not. So that's why the Elite Trainer box can sometimes be a better choice over a booster box if you still want to go with something that's modern and sealed. Final area of the hobby that I want to talk about is graded Pokemon cards. High risk, high reward. Biggest bang for your buck than graded Pokemon cards, have by far the highest potential upside in the world of graded Pokemon cards. 2,000 to 3,000% return is not unheard of for the last year. A big concern that many people have that are new to the hobby is fake Pokemon cards, especially vintage fakes, since modern Pokemon cards are much harder to fake. If you want to buy vintage Pokemon cards, I'm going to recommend you get graded ones, especially if you're new. There's a bunch of reasons for that. You don't have to worry about authenticity, so that gives you some peace of mind. You don't have to worry about condition. The grade already tells you the condition. Here we have a PSA 1999 base set Charizard Unlimited, a super cool card to display. Everyone in the hobby knows this card and its design. Even people who know nothing about Pokemon cards can tell you about this card. They know this card. This is the card that is etched inside of everyone's memory, and it's still affordable. This card is going for below $1,000. That was the upper end cutoff point that I had set for myself for this video. So yeah, still really solid. This is a PSA graded card. They control the vast majority of the graded Pokemon card market. When in doubt, you're going to want PSA. They're the easiest graded Pokemon cards to sell. I can pretty much sell this Charizard at market value in probably under an hour. That's how liquid Charizard cards are, and the money will be in my bank account by tomorrow. No issue with that. If you want to go on a budget, you may want BGS or CGC graded cards. These have lower demand than PSA, but they're reputable and definitely not second grade graders. CGC and BGS cards tend to have a little bit of a harder sell than PSA, but they will sell. I'm confident in that. I've sold many BGS and CGC cards in the past, and they do just fine. A little bit more tricky. It might take you a week or two to sell a CGC or BGS card, but you can definitely sell them. Here we have a Birthday Pikachu, a vintage card. If you don't have one of these in your collection, you can pick one up. If it's graded, even better. It holds its value. You know it's real. Plenty of peace of mind, and you can learn plenty about the card because For example, right here, you can see that CGC graded the centering a 9.5, the surface an 8, the corners an 8, and the edges an 8. So you get an understanding of how the grading system works. What are card graders looking for? What are the conditions of the card? This card is pretty darn mint, and even then it only got an 8. So yeah, really, really cool. I think graded Pokemon cards are another solid era of the hobby. Certainly a little bit more risky, by far the riskiest portion of this video, but they do contain the highest potential upside for sure. And certainly they are also fun display pieces, fun conversation pieces, and fun pieces to have inside of your collection for long term. All right, everybody, that's the end of today's video. Thank you so much for watching. Those are the 4 areas of the hobby that I highly recommend you focus your collection on. To recap, that includes vintage sealed booster packs, modern booster boxes, elite trainer boxes, and graded Pokemon cards. There are pros and cons to each one. None of them are perfect. It really comes down to what kind of collector you are. Certainly, you do not have to focus on these because there are even other areas of the hobby. We haven't even touched promo cards, which are also a fun bag, that's for sure. In general, these are the areas that I think it's fun to stick into because they are very straightforward. And I hope you enjoy the video. If you have any questions, let me know for sure. I'm more than happy to answer your questions in the comments. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time.